Oh, I wish I could stay another week. But my daughter-in-law reports that we're sold out of books right now. I got to get home and get a new order in, and I think I've got 13 left. 13 of you guys that haven't got your books are going to be the lucky ones tomorrow. The others got to wait a few more days. Well, the season turned out almost as good as I thought it would. Three of us old timers, I'm the oldest old timer, didn't get a deer. All I saw was does. I didn't see any bucks. Not many does either. The way it looks right now, I have to sit down and think about it and make some marks on my maps, but it looks like we only have about one doe per square mile. You know, 2 years ago and last year, 2 years ago, we had a local tribe down in the Cloquet area hunting in this area for 4 months with no limit. And the last we heard, they had taken 13 deer, mostly fawns and yearlings, does, hardly any bucks. Well, it turns out there's only about one doe per square mile in our hunting area. Our moose population has improved a little bit. It's up to about 1.5 per square mile now. That's kind of unusual. The wolves haven't turned to that. Yesterday morning we had a wolf pack right outside our tent door here. Our wolf pack is small. That reflects the fact that our wolves are having a hard time finding food in the wintertime. And when that happens, they either don't have pups in the spring, or the pups don't survive. They aren't as healthy. So it's been hard for the wolves, but they were all up and down this old logging trail yesterday, early in the morning, and so anyway, our deer numbers are down, but not bad. We still got 3 bucks. Usually we settle for 4. And there's 200. Two of our Nordbergs are out in the woods right now, trying to get that 4th one. They drove up yesterday just to hunt a day and a half up here. But it's been fun. Gee, I enjoy camping out here in the winter in this wilderness area. I enjoy the birds and all the other animals that we see out here when we're hunting. I enjoy sitting at special stand sites that we selected before the season. It was great, really great, until about Wednesday. I was coming across a clear cut. I slipped off a slippery trunk, and my foot went really hard against a rock, actually 2 rocks kind of between them, and I injured my left foot, and it was terribly painful for a couple days, actually until yesterday. And yesterday it was painful because I went out hunting anyway. But I didn't hunt for 2 days. I just laid around camp here, kept the fire going, did some cooking, but so I didn't get to hunt as long as I could. First time, I think. I'm starting to show my age, my 83 years of age. But it was kind of fun to have some days in camp just to read and enjoy myself here. Come out once in a while, look around to make sure there isn't some 10-pointer standing 50 yards away waiting for me to fire at him. But that didn't happen. But a spot I had for opening morning, that didn't turn out well either, because it's north of some privately owned land that I leased for about 10 years. I figured that north of that would be pretty good, and it almost was. The first shot that morning occurred about half mile south, on the south edge of that 80, and 12 shots were fired at that deer coming north toward me. Somebody finally dropped it about 200 yards north of where I was sitting. But I was hoping that they chased some live ones up in my direction on opening morning, and it almost happened. But at any rate, it doesn't matter. You know, if I didn't have so many orders back home to be filled and things to do, I'd be happy to spend another week here. I love this country. We all do in my gang here. So, I hope you guys did well. You don't have wolves and you don't have a tribe hunting in your area. You probably have lots of deer. I know where my oldest daughter and her husband hunt in Michigan. They got more than 30 deer per square mile. Imagine that. All kinds of deer. They have lots of hunters that put on drives too. They call those big drives the red tide. Wouldn't that be awful? I couldn't imagine something like that happening here in this country. But we're just 3 miles from the Canadian border, and not many people come this far north to hunt or hunt in this mostly roadless area. You got to be a woodsman to know what you're doing up in this country. But so another season comes to an end. But I have lots of new things to write about during the coming year, and lots of new pictures to take. And I'm so happy. Oh, one thing too, I gotta say, we bought this new tent this year. 4 of us. We chipped in on it. It was on sale. And I'll tell you, it's one of the best buys I've ever made in my whole life. That tent has been nice and warm and dry and airy and room for everybody, up to 12 of us sitting around the big round table in the middle in the evenings when we have our special meals like barbecued ribs and huge beautiful steaks and chicken stew even, and spaghetti and all kinds of great meals in the evening, and talking about the day's hunting, and it's just such a wonderful time of the year for us. But that tent is a dandy. I wish they would have bought it 20 years ago. They didn't exist then. But the boys finally talked me into it, and so we went and got one, and gee, I love that tent. You'll see some innards of the tent. It looks like a deer camp in there, but you'll see more of that tent in the coming YouTube presentations. And gee, if you're in an area where using a tent like this would be to your advantage, and establishing your hunting area, and if other hunters will leave the area alone because they know somebody's hunting there, that's a real advantage. I know that works for us. We get some road hunters coming up and down this road once in a while. They're hoping, shoot, some of the bucks that live in our area, we're getting kind of notorious for having big bucks in our hunting area, and we really don't have more than any other place up here. But because we get them, they think, oh, that place is full of big bucks. The Nordberg's got all the bucks. It doesn't happen. And our bucks have been just as tough to hunt as ever with these wolves. The wolves have been a little hard on the deer too, because we've been finding bones and parts of legs with the fur still on them and all that kind of thing this year. And fur in every wolf dropping you find, deer hair. And but I guess we got to share these deer with them too, and the wolves are having a hard time. Our politicians can't seem to finally pass the bill to delist our Minnesota wolves. Our wolves have spread all the way to Iowa, all the way through upper Wisconsin and into upper Michigan, and west into the Dakotas. And it just keeps happening because our young wolves just can't find a place to find a hunting area of their own. What they like, this pack here, will hunt about 100 square miles. That's about 10 by 10 miles. And there's usually a wide space between